Well, the big bulbous bill is passed, at least the first hurdle. And I got to tell you right now, Jeff Bezos has got to be tap dancing his tax breaks. And you can let all the billionaires are out there laughing their asses off, their assets off, you might say, because the rest of us are going to take an asset and they're going to keep it. And if you think I'm shit, and you just wait and see. GT, you take it from there, because I can hardly talk about this.
Yeah, that's kind of funny that this happened today. Jack and I were going to do a little episode. We've been trying to, talk about the income inequality thing a little bit, and we were gonna start with Bezos's, $50 million wedding, and but that's like, hey, good for him. He worked hard, he earned it, a little exorbitant, but then this happens today, and he can afford all this stuff, basically because of us, because of our government, and what the taxpayers do to help his company. And Jack and I have talked about this, and I'm not sure if a lot of you know this, but I'm a truck driver, and if you could drive down the highway, Jeff Bezos has like 40,000 trucks, and that's not counting what he leases out owner operators. My point being is he uses more of our infrastructure than anyone in the world, but in our country. And he gets these huge tax breaks that just are ungodly. Since Trump passed the, what was it, 2017, Jack, I think, yeah, the tax breaks, his company has gotten $21 billion in tax breaks because of that bill, and he gets about 800 and something thousand a year, altogether over 6 billion since then in personal tax breaks. And this is
Some
all.
million. You said thousands. 800 some million he gets a year.
No, no,
So,
I'm sorry. Oh, did I say thousand? Yeah,
yeah.
800 something million, and it came out to 6 billion. And now this bill got passed today, and it's going to keep these. Now, these were supposed to expire next year for all of them, not just him. And now they're in perpetuity. They're permanent. And Jack, how do you think this lays with the for a lot of the American public?
I mean, how do you, I guess we can all sit there. I'm a capitalist. I believe in a capitalist society. I'm a Republican. And GT's not. But that's why we do these things. But this, we pretty much agree on this. The problem you've got is I have no problem with people making big gains and stuff. But when we have to give him the massive tax breaks to go with all the gains, I mean, he gets more in tax break. How many people do you know, anybody watching right now, make in a lifetime what he gets in tax breaks in a year? In tax breaks, not when he's making money. It's crazy. And then he just hoards it and keeps it and makes more, and then rents out cities for weddings. And I don't care about the damn wedding. That's foolish and ridiculous. But he's just showing how important he is. If you think about it, it kind of reminds me of the times back in England that we all make fun of the royal family. And this guy, he is the royal family.
Yes,
He is. He's
yes.
named himself the royal family. And Trump has ordained him because, these guys, they go in, and Trump will never touch these guys, never touch them, because they got money. And let's face it, he wants to be one of them. He's never made the money, but he wants to be one of these guys, and now he's making it. You
I
know,
was getting ready to say he's catching up, Jack. Right now,
now he
he
is.
he
He's
he
using
made a
he's using the country
billion.
and the White House to make it, but
He made
whole
a
other story.
billion dollars a month, Jack, his first 3 months in office
Yeah,
off meme coins and stuff. But we're not on him. We're on Bezos.
now we're on
And
Bezos,
and,
but
and
it's the
yeah,
same.
and what I want everyone to understand is, Jack, me, we all paid to build our interstate system. We pay for our roads. We pay for our bridges. And this guy's using it more than anyone. So not only should he be paying his fair share, he probably should be paying a little bit of a surcharge because he uses so much of the infrastructure. He wears the roads out. You don't have to believe me, anyone. Just take a drive down the interstate, and you will see Amazon trailers all the time. Drive around your town, you'll see the little delivery trucks. But he hires a lot of people. He has a lot of there's a lot of people work for Amazon, and that's a good thing. He doesn't pay him much. I know a lot of the owner operators that haul trailers for him, and he pays about they eke out a living is what it is, and they pay for their own tractor. They take care of their truck, buy the fuel and stuff like that. And he doesn't do them anything great. He's not one of the better contractors. That's like you take Amazon freight if you can't get any good hauls, is what it really comes down to. So he's a tight one. His factory workers, they had out there's we have more centers out here, distribution centers than anywhere in the world. The Inland Empire where I live, and there's Amazons everywhere. But that being said, all he's doing with all these tax gains and these tax savings that he's getting, well, obviously, he's probably paying some bonuses to his employees, you would
Yeah.
think.
Ask him.
Yeah,
Ask all his
yeah. Yeah, they don't get dick, all right? He's hosing them. But what he is doing with this money, he's investing in AI, autonomous truck driving trucks, AI powered robots to so they can replace all of his workers. And he's not alone. A lot of these oligarchs are doing the same thing. AI is coming for a lot of our jobs. Really, for Amazon, I mean, think about robotics, automated, autonomous trucks. What's that going to do for his bottom line, Jack?
Warehouse workers. I saw a thing a while back. The warehouse workers, robotic warehouse. So what he's doing is he's investing in getting rid of employees because robots
Right.
don't need health care. They don't need paid overtime. They don't get paid at all once you develop. That's what he's investing in. And the bottom line with this whole thing, and my part is, if you're making billions, great. I thumbs up. I'm glad you could do that, and go right ahead. But if you make billions, you don't deserve hundreds of millions in tax breaks because that's not going to put a dent in your income. You're going to be just if he paid all that we're giving him in breaks in taxes, I think he'd be okay. I don't think we have to worry about him too much. He probably makes a
It,
living.
exactly. He's still going to be a multi-billionaire. And me, the problem with him for me is, like I'm a truck driver, I told you, and the amount that he's getting from the American people without these tax breaks by using not just our bridges and roads, our broadband, our electrical grid, everything. Well, all of these, Meta, all of them, they're using our electrical grid. They're using our infrastructure, and yet they're getting tax breaks. And most of these tax breaks are funded by the middle class. It's a sad thing.
You
And
think about, okay, in this bill, I'll give you a good example. In this bill, I don't know if this passed in the bill or not, but a lot of talk about not taxing overtime for workers and for a year or 2 years or 5 years, whatever. But let's just say they're never going to tax overtime for workers again. They're taxing your regular pay. Look at your check. They're taxing that. Jeff Bezos is not being taxed. You're paying to take care of Jeff Bezos. That's the bottom line. Because if he was paying the tax, and not just him, we're using him for example, because you think about the money he's making and the breaks we're all giving him because we decided we're going to work and we're not going to develop an Amazon, but we're out here in the workaday force, so we need to pay for Jeff Bezos to get more tax breaks because by God, those guys really need it. And don't give me the old bullshit I heard. This was the old Republican line. I hate to even say it. Well, those guys need the tax breaks because they'll develop the businesses that bring in the employees. No, he's developing a business to get rid of
rid of
employees.
employees.
Get
Yes.
rid of him. If you work for him, he's trying to find a way to get your ass down the road. In fact, if you work for him, you're paying his taxes, and so he can keep his to get rid of your ass.
Yeah,
That's
that's exactly what's going on here with like I said, he's the worst. And AI, like I said, AI is coming for a lot of our jobs. They can't take mine. I haul cars, and a robot can't load cars and strap them down. There's certain things robots can't do. But boy, they're coming for a lot of jobs, and we're paying him to replace us. It's what we're doing, and it's really egregious, and it's just a hosing, and so anyways, people just need to be aware and pay attention. We're not, like I said, I would love to be rich, and we're trying to get there. We're trying to build a business, and I'm a capitalist. I'm not a MAGA, but I'm a capitalist. But I don't mind being a fair capitalism system, and I don't feel like it is right now.
Well, no, it's not. And the thing is, if you look at some of the people, and I'm definitely not against. I mean, look at Warren Buffett and guys like that. And Buffett, he said he's giving stuff away. He gives it away. And he's made it. Now, granted, he was not the poor kid on the street corner. A lot of people believe that wasn't true. He never said that. Some people wrote that in some bullshit books to make it sound like, this guy's amazing. And he is pretty smart. Surround himself with smart people, but he also has people directing where funds go to help other people. Gates is doing it too. Like him or not, doesn't make any difference. He's doing it, and that kind of stuff. And you get a guy like we're talking about right now, this guy ain't doing shit. In fact, do you remember his wife? I got to bring this up here because I looked this up. I heard about this, and I asked people, "Do you know who Mackenzie Scott is?" They don't know who she is. Well, that's Jeff Bezos' ex-wife. And I do remember in the news when they got a divorce, they were, "Oh my God, she's after half." Well, she was there from the beginning. She deserves half. That's the law in Iowa. You get half. That's very simple, and she deserved half. I mean, half of Mega Billions didn't deserve it. Well, let me tell you, even if she didn't, let's say she didn't deserve a dime. According to the organizations who track money being given away by philanthropists, Mackenzie Scott, right here, the breakdown, Jeff Bezos has given away about 1% to organizations that put his name on there, do what he directs them to do, and they get it when he feels like sending it to them. But first, there has to be publicity and announcement and all this stuff here. 1% of his net. His wife, Mackenzie Scott, so far has given 50.12% of her net away. Her requirements are this: no interviews, no press tours, totally quiet, don't mention her name. It's a trust-based philanthropy, no formal pledge, just massive, consistent giving. She is putting this shit on. She's helping a ton of organizations. This wicked woman that got half of Jeff Bezos' money. Actually, our money that Jeff Bezos has. This woman's out
But
doing
you,
it.
and you know what, Jack? We're not, you're talking about 40, a percentage, but we're talking about billions of dollars that this woman has given away. And she wants it anonymous, which is
Okay.
that's real giving. And, and she was there. She built that business with him. It wasn't a thing where she would just they started as a home business, slinging books, and she was right there with him putting in the work. So she had it coming. Not to mention she had to put up with a dick like him,
Now, can you imagine
and
that? He's brilliant.
that,
And he's an odd looking chick too. But the
uh,
thing, he gave an estimate that he knows for a fact it's $19 billion given to organizations. And they're vetted, but they don't, she doesn't want him to say, you got this money.
yeah,
We're going to give it to you. Don't mention where, and her attorneys have it set up so that, it goes in, it goes operational. There's no strings attached. You got to pat him on the back, rub his head, tell him how great
yeah,
he is. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? He should
yeah.
run for office.
He should run for president. Yeah,
Yeah. And that's the difference then. Am I a socialist? It's like this. Oh, you give all your money away? Hell no. But she's showing she can't even give it all away, you
yeah.
know? And yet they have all this, and yet his gather and gather more and more. But and for what? So he's laying on his sick bed, dying. You can look down and say, "By God, I still got all the money." I got bad news for him. Whether you are a Christian or an atheist, like some of us are, you ain't taking it with you. Ain't taking it with you. I don't give a shit where you think you're
No,
going.
no,
And
no
what did
telling
you do?
what. Go
You know,
ahead.
no, I mean,
Yeah,
I'll
no,
leave it
it's
to you.
like Bill Gates now. He's saying, I want mine gone by the time I die, not after I die. He doesn't want he wants his foundation, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which Warren Buffett has given massive amounts of money to. He wants it all gone by the end of his lifetime. He goes, I want to give this away and affect some things. And that's great. And Bill Gates, he used to be the kind of like the boogeyman because he was the richest guy in the world for so long. And Warren Buffett, he's giving all his away. And I'm hoping that the guys, I just not seeing it with Bezos and Musk. It's a competition between them to feed their egos or something. I don't quite understand it. And I just don't think we should be subsidizing them. And it's especially about what's getting ready to jump off in the next couple of years. The poorest of the poor are getting ready to get hit.
Yeah, I don't know really what to expect. I don't even know what all's in the bill. Uh, But a good example, like I said, I'm going to touch on the bill real quick on something to give you a comparison to Bezos. They're talking about not taxing tips for waitresses. And so I actually take an informal poll on this. I know it's kind of getting off, but I want to compare this tax break they get to his. And so I talked to some gals or waitresses in local places. And they said, yeah, we don't pay any taxes. We don't make enough money because people don't realize they don't even make goddamn minimum wage. They're not required to be paid minimum wage. There was a politician I heard on there said, well, if you're making $15, $18 an hour and you get this tax break, that's a pretty good deal. What waitress in Iowa was making $15, $18? They laugh about that. Shit, they're making single digits. They're not getting minimum wage. So they get these little tips and it bulks them up almost enough to pay taxes. So this tax break they get, it doesn't even exist. Boy, there's a good
Well,
tax, Donald.
like I said, it doesn't exist there. It exists out here. There's people knocking down some big tips. But I'm almost positive this sunsets. This is only a year. I'm almost positive. I don't know the whole bill either. It's 900 pages. There are people who voted on it said they don't know it.
No, they don't.
And they don't know it. But that's gonna. Them are definitely not permanent. And I think it's for a year. But the tax breaks for the wealthy are
Permanent.
permanent now.
Permanent.
And like I said, 21 billion a year Amazon makes off them tax breaks, and 6 billion a year he makes personally. And does he really need it? Is he giving it back? Is he helping anyone with it?
It
No.
doesn't help the economy. Money being put into AI, and that's what they're doing. This is another thing. They talk how this helps the economy because these guys use that money. No, no, no. First of all, he's putting it back into AI, and they're finding a way to get tax breaks on the money they put in AI. So they're going to take away jobs and get tax breaks for taking away jobs. It used
Yeah.
to be, there was a time that the party I used to belong to was big on if you get that money and put it back in the economy, you create jobs, we're going to give you a tax break. That's why I became Republican because they believed if you created jobs, you should get a tax break. I still believe that. I still do.
I'm pretty
I
sure
got
they were
big
called
money.
investment tax credits, if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and that was good. You're right. And he has created a lot of jobs. Now he's spending all this money on how to get rid of them.
How to get rid of them.
Yeah, and
Money he's
so
making from the employees will help him get rid of the employees. That's the goal. And if you think he's not going to get it done, okay, then you can sit around on your thumbs all the time. And someday when you realize that maybe your job's out the shitter too, you might want to wonder what happens there.
yeah, it's coming.
It's
Yeah,
coming. It's kind of a sad time you think about it that we've gone back to that the income disparity is in a position in this country now where it's worse than feudal times in England when the kings and queens had everything. We're at that. We passed that.
yeah.
Yeah, because
We
they had
passed the Roaring Twenties. We passed the Roaring Twenties with all the Carnegie and Rockefeller
but those guys did
J.P.
shit.
Morgan,
Those
huh?
guys did stuff. Those guys, and then granted, they had all the money, but today people and foundations get money from Carnegie and Rockefeller to
Yeah,
this day.
yeah, big money.
Big money.
We have a library system because of
The
it.
library system because of Carnegie. Think of that. The
Yeah.
thing goes, and granted, we can look back and say, God, they were some assholes, and they were. There's no doubt
Oh,
about it.
Carnegie was hardcore. Yeah.
Was he? But in
Yeah.
the end, he didn't give it just away to his kids. Say, there you go. When you die, it was set up. Things happened that benefited a lot of people. You're not seeing that now. They really, truly, we aren't seeing it with people like Bezos. We aren't seeing it with people in the White House. I'm ashamed of the Republican Party. I don't know. And I find myself agreeing with people that I never thought I'd agree with. And it's
Like
amazing.
me.
Like you, like Bernie Sanders, like
Yeah.
today, Bill O'Reilly, who came out and said this bill's a bunch of crap. I mean, even he's saying it.
Bill O'Reilly?
Bill O'Reilly, check
Oh
on it.
boy.
I mean, and
Jack, before I know we're going to go, but I thought you might want to touch on one more thing about Amazon. Jack's written a few books, and we've dealt with Amazon, and I always check our account for our few pennies that we get when we sell books. and we know we've sold them because the place that prints them on demand tells us, but we never get the money. But Jack,
Yeah.
you can talk about
Yeah,
Amazon.
we're going to actually, I'm kind of glad you brought that up. Working on a you call it expose thing with other people who've been vendors who have sold through Amazon. You need to know how what a credible business Mr. Bezos runs, the business itself. And people who haven't got paid, people to stall late pay thing where they pay them 90 days out, people who've gotten, well, there's an extra fee for this, extra fee for that, and or we'll sell more of your stuff if you advertise. And they go, okay, so but you got to advertise through Amazon, you got to pay them. And then even if you don't sell your product, they charge you extra for the Amazon for the advertising. It's just so top heavy. It's crap. And I'm going to get it put together. You can see it. I'm interviewing some people. We're going to get facts, figures, data from real people who get hosed every day. I don't buy anything from Amazon, and I'm sure that doesn't keep him awake at night.
I
But
wish I didn't. I do. I take the
I hope so.
convenience like most Americans. And
Yeah,
I'm on the road all the time, so I buy a lot of stuff from Amazon. And I know you don't, and I'm sitting here complaining about this son of a bitch, and yet I'm not I'm still not voting with my dollars. And I should be. I shouldn't be giving him any more money. And
well,
but I'm taking convenience.
we're a convenient society. Entertainment convenience is a big thing. Uh,
Yeah.
how we got ourselves where we are. I don't know where it stops, but I want everybody to do us a favor if you get a chance. Subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give us a comment. I get back to you in the comments. I'll take them all and see what you think because that's what's going to keep us going. GT, got anything you want to close out with here?
No, same thing. Yeah, please. Yeah, we want to keep this going. We're just struggling trying to get our business going, and if you could subscribe and listen to our stuff, we appreciate it.
Yeah. All I want to leave is this right here. If you're out there in America and you listen to this at all, think about one thing. If you can go to sleep at night being happy that you're working and paying taxes while people like that are gaining, go look at your children and stuff and what's that can be like for them. The shit's got to stop somewhere, somewhere. Maybe you're the one. That's it. Hey, thanks for being here. We'll see you real soon. To Jack and GT from Bed Joints to Beer Joints. Talk to you soon.